You can't say that's gay. Damn. I used to abuse that expression. I'm not gonna lie, and never for anything remotely sexual. I just would say it all the time. If you were like, I'll have a water, no ice, I'd be like, that's gay. You know, why do you have so many balloons? That's gay. Like shit like that. Can't say anymore. Now, to be clear, you can say that's gay, but it has to be for something overtly gay. Like, it has to be 10 guys standing in a line. Each of them has their dick and the ass of the guy in front of them, and they're marching and going, I want the cum. Give me the cum. I want the cum. And then you can go, that's gay. And even then they're like, take it easy. You're like, alright, jeez. Can't say midget? God damn it. I never thought we'd lose that one. You can't say it. People get very upset. I never said it to be cruel. And let's be honest, it was perfectly acceptable for years. The best part about the word midget, before it became offensive, is that it's specific. You know exactly what someone's talking about. That's what was so great about it. You could be like, I was at the zoo today, and I saw a midget. And you're like, what did they do next? Like, they feed him to the lions? Like, what happened? Now, I gotta be like, I saw a little person. You're like, was it a child? Or, like, no. Under 4'11" with the hands? Oh, okay. Now you know what I'm saying. So, you might be sitting in the end of your sheet right now going, Tom, what can we still say? I'll tell you what you can say. White racial slurs. All of them. Let her rip. Cracker, Mick, Kraut, Pollock, Frog, Guinea, Wop, Honky. Have fun. Say them all you want. And if you're not white and you're going, wait, are you saying I can say those too? That's exactly what I'm saying. Nobody cares. Call up your Italian friend tomorrow and be like, hey, you fucking guinea. And then I go, I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. It's not a historically disenfranchised group. The best slur of all, for me, I think, is honky. And I'll tell you why. The word honky is hilarious in and of itself, but for some reason, truly racist white people have latched onto that word. It's like this great indicator to know if someone's racist. If they act like that word is offensive, run. Okay? You don't believe me? Watch the news. Next time there's some racial fight in the news, they'll find some hillbilly. What happened? He'll be like, well, he called me a honky. And they're like, did you pass out from laughing hysterically? Or what happened next? He's like, no, I stabbed him. It's like, oh shit, that's fucking crazy. I'll pay you to call me a honky. I don't fucking care. It's a great word. I saw a racial fight recently, which is terrible, but I watched it. How are you not gonna watch? You're gonna watch every fight. Fights have that weird quality. Fights are kind of like handjobs in that you don't really want one, but like, let's see where it goes. You know? You give it a kiss? No? Alright, so I had to take a shot. So I'm in Philadelphia, walking through the park in the middle of the day. Beautiful day in Philly, beautiful park. I'm walking through this park, and as I'm walking through it, I see a white guy, and he yells across the park to a black guy, and he calls him a noof. And when you hear that, and you're in public, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. That's your first thought. And then another black guy, I don't know if he lived in the bushes, but like, he popped out of the bushes. Like, if stool is a bush, I just saw a black guy go, no, not in my park. But it's like, no one else saw that guy. Only I was like, oh my god, I see that guy! Like, it became my own personal movie. I watched him line up like a honey badger. He was like, that one? Alright. He fucking sprinted across the park, and he tackled the white guy. So instinctively, I went, get him! But it took me a second to realize I'm the only other white guy in the park. Yeah, so like 10 black people turned and I went, no! Him! Our him. And they're like, what? I was like, I'm out, that's what. And then they killed that white guy. And for the record, I don't give a fuck if they did. You know why? There is no such thing as white guy loyalty. I mean, there is, but those guys are obvious as they hold torches, but the rest of us are not having that shit. Let me tell you something, man. I'm jealous of interracial loyalty. Because I see it. If you're white, you see it with other races, Asians, black people for sure. What I'm talking about, there could be a dangerous situation. Let's say a fight. And there's a black guy in that fight. And then another black guy that doesn't know him will go, I'm going to involve myself. Just on account of us being the same race. At our core, we are brothers. I see that, I'm like, wow. Because when you're white and you're in that situation, you're like, fuck that guy. I don't fucking care about that guy. Do whatever you want to him. I don't give a shit. Let you do something like that in a park and then look at me. You're gonna help out? You should know something. You're about to get murdered. I will fucking take pictures as you're beaten and upload them. Hashtag honky. Hashtag dead honky. Fuck you, cracker. I'm out of here.
Oh, man.
I think you've probably taken it for granted, your lax weed laws, and you forget the struggle that we all went through at one time. We're all traumatized by it. I hope you acknowledge that. We are traumatized by our upbringing. If you're over 4 years old, you are traumatized by this nation's laws. And this is what I mean. I bought weed last week. Same dude I always buy it from. It was a public place. The first thing I said to him when he gave it to me is, I'm gonna go put it in my car. And he goes, why? I just go, instinctively, I go, because it's weed. And he goes, tape it to your fucking forehead. Who gives a shit? I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. We, as a nation, have been traumatized by these horrific laws and people being imprisoned for having weed. And it highlights the absurdity of it not only been illegal and so crazy for so many years, but also highlights how the next generation will not believe our stories about it at all. There's a 0% chance they will understand what we're talking about. It'd be like trying to tell a kid now, like, hey, you know, pigeons used to deliver messages to people. Like, what the fuck are you saying to me right now? It'd be the same thing. I'll sit my son down one day and be like, you know, when I was your age, to get weed, I almost died. and he'll be like, why? Was 7-Eleven on fire or something? They didn't sell it at 7-Eleven. Daddy used to get in cars with strangers. Where are we going? Chill out. Alright. 3-hour round trips to buy weed. What kind of weight were you moving? $20 worth of marijuana. That kind of major shit. Bought weed from a dude in a standalone trailer one time. Not a trailer park. A solo trailer. The most terrifying housing situation that exists. Where other trailer people are like, get the fuck out of here. Kick them out. I just walked up to that shit, 15. This dude like, trying to get sacked. I was like, oh shit, yeah. He's like, we could go do that. I was like, alright, cool. And he goes, we just gotta go get it. I was like, you don't fucking have it? Isn't that your sole responsibility? I tried to play it cool. Like, alright, let's go get it. He says, I'll go get it. You stay here, watch my place. It's like, alright. He goes, there's a 357 and a shotgun on my bed. Anyone comes in here, blast him. Inside, paralysis. But what I said was, that's what's up. Like, yeah. Then he stopped at the door, says, but don't shoot my mom. I go, can we get a description before we agree to terms? How about a height and weight on old mom? Not everybody agrees on weed. That's fine. I don't care. Like, my parents, we don't agree. They're not cool with weed. I don't care. They're old. I still love them. My dad's a Vietnam vet. Some of them are cool with weed. Some of them are not. Some don't want to talk about Vietnam. My dad does. Some are like, I don't want to talk about it. My dad's like, well, what do you want to know? Here's what I wanted to know as a kid. It's terrible to ask this to a stranger. This is my own father. And I'd seen a lot of movies, so I'm like, you were in the war. Did you ever kill anybody? The first time I asked him, he goes, no, I didn't. I go, alright, okay. Years later, I asked him, did you ever kill anybody? He goes, I was a lieutenant. I was in charge of people. It just didn't work like that. I said, okay. Years later, I asked him again, you ever kill anybody? He goes, I threw grenades into bunkers. I go, were there people in there? He goes, there were, yeah. Just little pieces by the time I got in there. Then last year I go, did you ever kill anybody? He goes, there's no better feeling than killing the enemy. Whoa. I can remember the first time we ever talked about weed, because it was Christmas Day. That's why it stood out. I was 12 years old. I think my sister brought it up. She was like, I want to smoke weed. My dad goes, you want to know what I think of marijuana? And I was genuinely curious. I go, what, Dad? He goes, I was at a party one time, and I saw somebody pull out a marijuana cigarette. And I said, I'm out of here. I was like, cool story, nerd. You got any other ones? He goes, yeah, one time I was in Vietnam, and some Viet Cong tried selling my Marines marijuana. So I found him, I picked him up by his throat, and I threw him on the ground. I put my M16 in his face. I said, if you ever come here again, I'll fucking kill you. I go, do you have any stories in between those two stories? God damn, geez, it's Christmas, bro. God damn. 2 years after that, there was a woodpecker fucking up our house. This will all make sense. And woodpeckers can really damage your house. I remember my dad paid a guy $500 to patch up that part of the house. A month later, the woodpecker returned. This time, my dad did not call the guy. He woke me up, his teenage son, on a Saturday morning. Picture, you're dead asleep. My dad whispers in your ear with his potent dad breath. Just whispers in my ear, dead asleep, I need you to shoot a bird. I just go, I don't do that. He goes, figure it out. So I said, okay, Lieutenant. I got an air rifle. I shot the woodpecker. I remember. I shot it mid-peck. Landed in front of me. So much bigger up close. Really big. Red feathers, distinct features. I was blown away. I bagged it up, threw it away. I went over to my girlfriend's house. I started telling her family about it over lunch. I should mention, at the time, my girlfriend's family ran a wildlife conservation center. So I didn't know my audience. But I heard a few forks drop, and I looked up, and her dad goes, oh my god, you killed a long-billed woodpecker. That's an endangered species. I go, oh. I said, my dad made me do it. He goes, how does that make you feel, knowing that you did that? I said, there's no better feeling than killing the enemy. It was fucking awesome. I loved it. Those birds are extinct now. I did that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm crazy. So, oh man. Don't you hate everyone? I mean, obviously I'm not talking about you guys, but, no, I've been on this tour for a long time, too long, and I meet people sometimes after shows, you know? I meet people, and it's always a roll of the dice. I've been meeting lunatics. I mean, I meet people. I met a guy after a show recently. I'm shaking hands, saying hi. Guy comes up to me and goes, wait, shit. He goes, and I go, what? He goes, I said, where am I from originally? He goes, huh. I said, I was born in Cincinnati, but I moved around a lot. He goes, yeah. He goes, huh? I go, are you a person that's talking to me right now? He goes, yeah. And then I decipher that what he's saying is, I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, about 20 miles south of there. There's a bunch of cigars down there. I thought maybe you're from there too. And I go, oh, fucking no. And then I realize we have this whole population of Cajun people living amongst us like they're one of us, and they're not. Why do they have rights? This guy had the audacity to say, I said, "Did you just ask me if there's a red box around here?" He goes, "Huh." I go, "I don't fucking work here." Like, I thought he was moments away from being like, "I do declare I am a cartoon character, and I've come to life." Here's all I'm saying. I support building a wall if it's around the state of Louisiana, because those people are out of their fucking minds. You fucking swamp people, we don't need you. What are we gonna miss out on? Are you gonna get your shrimp? Like, oh, what a contribution. No more gator, no more shrimp. Fucking inbreds. So, rat crabs, inbreds. They don't need you. Fucking tell them. They'll see this shit. Fuck you, Cracker. So, probably checked into 400 hotels this year. And when I tell you that this has happened to me more than half a dozen times, I'm not exaggerating. Every hotel check-in begins usually same. It's standard. Hotels, people at the desk, they go, last name? And this just happened to me. Last name? I go, Segura. I goes, whoa, you Japanese? I go, 100%, yeah. He goes, oh, a lot of Japanese people here. That's cool. It's pretty cool. So I have to stop him and go, hey man, I'm not Japanese. He goes, Segura. Segura! Yep, sounds Japanese. I go, because you're saying it Japanese. I could be Smith, and if you want to go Smith, then it's Japanese. He goes, well, what are you? Which is fucking rude, can I just say. It's never important to ask that question. What are you? It's never important to ask that. It's sometimes important, but not a lot. When is it important? Sushi chef, accountant, 100-meter dash. Outside of that, I mean, sometimes it matters. So I tell him, I go, Segura is Spanish. He goes, that's weird. You look white. I go, I am white. He goes, but you're Spanish? And I go, correct. He goes, do you speak Spanish? I said, yes. And he goes, so you're Mexican?
Oh
I go,
God.
no. He goes, I don't know what's going on. I said, what's going on is you failed fucking social studies, and you're not too good at geography either. And I see his head drop, like he feels bad, and I'm like, look, man, you understand there's white people in Mexico. You know that. He goes, no, I don't. I said, there's white people there, black people there, even Asian people there. And if you really want to shit your pants, those Asian people, they speak Spanish too. You don't expect it, but they're like, dim song, and then he speaks a bunch of fucking Spanish words, I don't know. They are Asians, and they speak Spanish. Now, as you can tell, I speak beautiful, perfect Spanish, and it is of no credit of my own. My mother is Peruvian, and her English wasn't good, so she spoke to us in Spanish, and that's how I picked up on Spanish. I get so many different reactions when people find out I speak Spanish. I either get completely incredulous people who are like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe what's coming out of your mouth right now. I think I'm gonna piss my pants. And I'm like, I don't speak Aramaic, I speak Spanish. Like, why is this? They're like, it's not supposed to come out of you, bro. So I get that reaction. Or I get people who are like, you speak Spanish? Yeah, I speak Spanish too. I'm like, no you don't. They're like, no, I took 4 years in high school. And I'm like, yeah, I played football for 4 years in high school, and the Broncos aren't giving me a look this week. So, no, you don't. Your Spanish sucks, with a capital M for mierda. Now, I grew up in a Spanish-speaking household, which means I listen to a lot of Spanish music. I only point that out. I think it's important to point out when you listen to Spanish music, it influences who you become, like all music would. For me, I used to listen to this singer named Juan Luis Guerra, a Dominican singer. He would sing a lot of love songs, titles like Si tu te vas, which means if you were to leave me. And the lyrics go, Si tu te vas de corazón, which means if you leave me, my heart would die. I'm 10 years old. I'm like, oh shit, I don't want that to happen. So I would balance it out. I would listen to a lot of Todd Shaw, and you might know him by his stage name, Too Short. And he would sing songs like Blowjob Betty. And I would go back and forth between these two great songwriters. De corazón, de tu te vas. Bust a left nut, right nut, in a jaw. Sperm on a cheek, it's all dissolved. And that's how I go through life today. Today, I'm basically like, hola, eh. Sorry, Mom. Now, by the way, is there any more satisfying feeling than letting an elevator door close on somebody? I did it at the hotel earlier. I got such a warm rush through my body. I felt like the inside of my body hugged the outside of my body, you know? I was trying to figure out, why does this feel so good? I think it's a taste of power. Like, most of us, we have no power in our everyday lives. But if you're alone in an elevator, you are lord of the elevator shaft. You get to decide, like a king with his drawbridge. There's hold open and close. And you can watch people walk up and be like, and you hit that, and then you see it close, and you're like, oh, fucking skip that shit. Sometimes, a second later it opens, and you're like, fuck! You get nervous energy, like you're a kid, you're like, I'm in trouble! It's always some lady who's like, you didn't see me? I don't even know how this thing works. So many buttons, and I tried all of them. Just trying to figure out, like, where is power the most equal, you know? I think it's a parking lot. Just hear me out. It doesn't matter what you drive. If you drive something, that parking space is yours. And when you're ready to leave and other people are looking for a place to park, like, you're walking back to your